Hey everybody, welcome back to Celebrity Signings. This is the next update. As those of you who've been with me on my journey over the last few months know, I'm really behind and I'm kind of updating stuff as and when I get a chance to my blog, and then as I do a page full of updates on the blog, I'm recording that as a video to update here so you can see the stuff that I've got. Now, you'll have noticed, anybody who's been with me for a while, you've noticed my collecting habits have changed a little bit. So I used to be big into TTMs and some like Comic-Cons and that kind of thing. TTMs have really dried up. I mean, partly due to me not sending them, obviously, but also just because TTMing really has ground to a halt. So many people are saying that they're not getting replies these days. So I've kind of shifted my focus in terms of my collection recently. And those who've seen my previous videos will have seen that. I'm much more into collecting signed books at the moment. I really enjoy going to charity shops and finding incredible signed books and including those in the collection. And again, you'll see some of those here. I'm also buying a bit more. I'm doing a lot of research on the people I buy from. So I'm not just buying from random eBay sellers, for example. You know, because half the stuff on eBay, more than half the stuff on eBay is signed by the same person, you know. It's not signed by the celebrity. But I do tend to buy occasionally from collectors that I've got to know or trust or you know, have been pointed to by other collectors. So you'll see some of those today in the video as well. So let's crack straight on. I've kept you for a minute and a half already, so let's see what I've got. So talking of which, the first four updates I've got here are purchases from another Doctor Who collector. They are all dedicated. That's fine, doesn't bother me in the slightest. I actually bought these four because I wanted two of the four autographs, really. And so I bought it for two of the four, but got the four as a package. And let's be really clear here, they didn't cost a lot of money at all. I think I paid something like £12, maybe. And I'll explain a couple of them when I get to them. But let's crack on and see. So I got this Colin Baker. Already got Colin in the collection. I've been to lots of Comic-Cons he's at now. I wouldn't buy any more. I've got a Colin Baker. I think it's one in the collection. That's enough for me. Not particularly a massive fan of his era, if I'm totally honest. But this one's here is dedicated to John, but you can see it's signed Colin Baker, who... So another Colin Baker in the collection. I also got this Julian Bleach. Don't have Julian up to this point, so I was pleased to get him, but I wasn't overly... I didn't go into this collection to buy it because of the Julian Bleach. Julian plays Davros in the kind of more modern era of Doctor Who. But again, I didn't particularly go into this just to get Julian, but nice to add him as a new addition to the collection, for sure. I did want this, so there was this Billy Piper signed headshot, which I think is the kind of standard headshot, or one of a couple of standard headshots you get if you write to Billy, or you certainly used to. I haven't written to her for a while. But I actually bought this and got this before the big reveal in the end of the most recent episode of Doctor Who. I won't spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it. You can probably intimate where I'm going with it, though. But yeah, it was always nice to get a second Billy Piper. I believe this is only the second in my collection. It's dedicated again. Don't really care. It doesn't bother me in the slightest, if I'm totally honest. So another Billy in the collection. So that was cool. But the real reason I wanted to get it was, well, that, Billy Piper, and also to get a Peter Davison. Now, I've got Peter in the collection, but it's in a multi-signed Doctor Who book. I don't actually have a picture of him. Now, I can hear what people are saying already. It's dedicated. It's creased to hell. It is, but you know what? I like it, and it's kind of it's a nice signature. It's not, it's not the clearest and thickest, but it's a decent signature. And for me, I'm really pleased to add a Peter on an actual Doctor Who picture to the collection. So for the minimal amount I paid for it, definitely worth doing. Okay, next up. Look, I know what people are going to say when they see this, right? I picked this up in a charity shop. I have no idea whether this is real or not. I paid a couple of pounds for it in the charity shop. I don't know if it's authentic. The likelihood is it's probably not. I will send it for authentication. I feel like I need to on this one. But I picked up this book, and lo and behold, inside, you can see it's signed here with, I think it's silver pen, unless my pictures made it look funny and it's gold. I think it's silver pen. It does look sort of similar to ones I've seen online, but there's huge variations. But for me, my thinking was, at the absolute worst, I've paid £2 or £3 for a book and the money's gone into a charity shop. At the very best, I've paid £2 or £3 for a signed Mike Tyson book. So I think it's kind of like a win-win either way. The charity shop wins and I feel good because I've given some money to charity. I win and I make a decent bit on it. I'm not planning on selling it, but I mean, in the future, my kids could make a decent amount on selling it if they needed to. So I don't know. Any Mike Tyson experts out there? What do you think? I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts on this possible Mike Tyson book. Next up, again, this is one, if you've watched my videos previously, you'll have seen I bought some autographs off of the Music Hall Guild, who'd had donations given to them by a comedian actor, Jerry Richards, who passed away. He was a big-time autograph collector. He gave them all of his autographs to sell to raise money for the Music Hall Guild. I bought a few bits, got quite close to them, and they sent me a couple of huge packages of free autographs. Still going through them to this day, still plowing through them. So there's a few in here. This one is a signed, it's two signed letters. Or maybe it's front and back, and actually I think it's just one signed on the front and back. But it's a handwritten letter from British comedian Roy Hudd. It's all very boring. He's talking about signing some scripts and sending them, etc., etc. But you can see here he signed Roy at the bottom. I do have Roy in the collection anyway. I wrote to him before he passed away a couple of years ago. But I really like this, the hand-signed letter. I've actually got 3 or 4 of these. But this was my favourite one, so I've kept this. The rest, I don't know. I might give to some friends. I haven't worked that bit out yet. But I'd probably keep this one and pass on the others to somebody else who'd like them. Next up, another autobiography. This is Will Carling, former rugby union player. England captain. Look, as a Welshman, proud Welshman, it pains me to have an English rugby autobiography in my collection. But it's Will Carling. Everybody knows who he is. He's probably of his period. He's probably one of the most famous rugby players in that period of his rugby playing history. And to be perfectly honest, this cost me £1 in the bookshop. You can see it signed here, Will Carling. There was no way I was going to leave it. Let's be honest. Total disclosure, it's not on my bookcase, so it's not on my to-show books, but it is in my popped-aside collection to do with something in the future. So it's there, so I've got it, and I'm happy with that. Another one, this is really random. I paid £1 for this. I went charity shop hunting, found absolutely bugger all, but this was there, so I thought, oh, well, at least I'll come back with something. This is Richard Pearce's book, Cuddle Me, Kill Me. He's a wildlife conservationist and author, and this is his book about lions in the wild, and it's a true account of South Africa's captive lion breeding and canned hunting industry, I think that says. It was £1 in the shop. I've no idea who he is, but I thought it was quite cool, and it does have best wishes, Richard, I can't even remember his surname, what did I say it was? Richard Pearce. It does have best wishes, Richard Pearce written inside it. So for £1, I picked it up. This is probably sitting with my Will Carling one in my to do something with eventually pile. It's not on my to display proudly pile at the moment, so but it might get there at some point. Next up, this was a private purchase. This is a Roy Castle card. It is dedicated to Denise. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. For those who don't know who Roy Castle is, he's probably most famous in the UK for the series Record Breaker. He has passed away now. He passed away several years ago, quite a few years ago actually. Probably 10 or 15 years ago. But I know him best for 2 things. He was in a Carry On film or 2. He was definitely in Carry On Jack, I believe it was. Which is one of the Carry On films. But he was also one of the companions in one of the Doctor Who movies with Peter Cushing as the Doctor. So again, I'm classing this as a Doctor Who piece. I know they're not canon, but I am classing this as a Doctor Who piece. So for those who follow me, you'll know I've picked up a Roy Castle book not that long ago. So I've got a couple of I've gone from nothing to having a couple of signed items from Roy Castle in my collection recently, which I'm really pleased with. And I believe last of all for this video, talking of Carry On, this is my second copy of this, so it's another charity shop purchase. I think I paid £2, £2.50 for this, can't recall. I already have this book by Barbara Windsor, the brilliant Barbara Windsor, who's been in so many Carry On films. I probably could have looked it up, but haven't, but lots and lots of the Carry On films. She's brilliant in Carry On. I know she was in EastEnders, lots of other stuff. People know her for EastEnders. I've already got this, as I say, signed, but I really wanted to grab this because it's just got, spoilers here. This is actually the first version of the Barbara Windsor video. I've given away a Barbara Windsor book. I've given away a spoiler. This is actually the first. I have a second one coming in the future. This one actually cost me £1, I believe. But I do have a second copy of this, which I thought this was. And you can tell the research I've done on this video before I made it. Whoops, sorry about that. But I do have a second copy of this with what I prefer in terms of the signature. So I'll show you that one again. So disregard everything I just said about Barbara Windsor books. This is the first of the Carry On Barbara Windsor books I've got. There will be another one in a future iteration of the movie. I'm going to stop this video here because clearly my brain is addled. I'm recording this on a Friday afternoon. It's been a long day. It's been a long week, folks. Let's be perfectly honest. I'm tired. It's cold. It's dark. I want to go to bed. I'm going to stop the video here. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please do leave comments, like, subscribe, all that YouTubery stuff that people do, because I love hearing from people. And yeah, I'll speak to you again soon. Take care. Thanks very much. Have a good weekend. And bye-bye.